you're looking for professional day trading education, high-level trade analysis and dissection, you've come to the right place. My name is Pat Mitchell. I've been a professional day trader for the past 11 years, and I'm here to bring you exactly that. High-level professional day trading education, all here for free on YouTube and on X. And tonight we are going to be going over a very specific lesson on a trade that I took on Qs, and we are going to be discussing what you do, how to trade if you open up right on top or right below a technical level, because there are certain things that you really need to wait for in order to execute. If there is no distance in between that level, you really need to watch this video because it's really going to give you some insight of exactly what to wait and watch for. Let's rock and roll, folks. I hope you all had a wonderful day. Give me a sec. I am going to fire up my charts. Okay, so now that we are into the charts here, what we're going to be, one sec here. Sorry, guys, I just got to X out of something. There we go. What's shaking, folks? Okay, so this morning, the trade plan, you're going to see a different level than we usually have on this channel. We generally only have these blue levels. These blue levels are the levels that we are going to trigger into on our, and then I develop a full-blown trade plan surrounding that. So because of the amount of distance that we had to work with, there's multiple other types of strategies that I have that we can get involved with these charts without having to wait a mile for it. Now, obviously, if the market opened and it just started shooting and squeezing up or really selling off hard, we would wait for those levels. However, that's not what happened, but there is a way to get involved with it. Now, you're going to see normally in this situation, when we open up, if you've watched this channel before, if we open up, we are going to go short coming into this level. However, now I'm going to back out this chart and you're going to see why I didn't. Now, you definitely could risk off of this pre-market level. If you take a look at the volume, there's nothing there. There's no real protection there. Okay. Now, you have to wait for something. Can it reject that level? Yes, it absolutely can. And it can come into that level, it can reject it, and it can sell off. It is its first level of resistance on the way up. But because that is so close, and also you would need to apply some level of risk. Okay. So let's say you gave this $572 stock or ETF a 1-point risk. That would be somewhere in this neighborhood. Now you can see it basically held that risk. Now, by the time it confirms, you have all-time highs right here, right? Way up here. That is heavy resistance. So what people will end up telling themselves is they will hold all the way up into that. And instead of a trade where you're looking to make about a point, right? Because you would give it down to pre-market lows, pay yourself the majority of that. That's how you would properly and professionally trade. You're risking 2, 3x that. It's ridiculous. So what you need to do instead, now let me clean up this chart and I'm going to get zoomed in and I'm going to show you exactly how to manage this. What we want is for this, and I'm going to draw it over here. So if we open here, which we did, so we opened in this area, and let's say it pops up. What we are looking for is a squeeze through that level. Because, and I talked about this yesterday or the day before on the recap, we want to see a level of disrespect for that level coming down. We don't want this to hold. If it holds, one of two things can happen. Either it holds, and when it comes up, we will simply wait for that short into all-time highs. No big deal. If it holds, okay? It didn't hold. And the secondary, what we want it to come down. And since it didn't hold, this is option number 2. There's only 2 things that can happen here. It will slice through. It will disrespect that level, showing no signs of strength. When it pops up, because it will have to, you got to trust me on this, it will have to come up and retest. That is your go signal. That's your signal. You can get in short here, pay yourself here, and ride down into your next level of support. In these situations, when you have that mid-range level, and you're dealing with like real strong technical and resistance levels that are really far apart, and you have that mid-range level, it can only do one of two things. Okay. So what you need to do is express some patience and some self-control. Don't trigger too quickly and just wait. Wait for it to show you what is actually going to happen. And if you can do that, this shit becomes real easy, guys. Like real easy. So what happened instead, we didn't get a perfect setup on that. Okay. So the very first trade that I took, you'll see my entries here. When it popped up, it still came up over that level. Now, I understand it's very nil, but there sometimes the devil is in the details, and those subtleties matter. If it could not bump its head fully there, right, and then come down, I would have another way of working this trade, by the way. Okay. But we didn't need to. But since it came up even a little bit, it still showed that it could get through that level. It wanted nothing to do with it. So when it came down, I want you guys to pay attention. You see this red candle here? So that closes. Next one opens here, pops into that. It retests it. So it's essentially what has happened here is what I drew when I drew this, but on a micro scale. It's very quick. Now, I'm not saying not all of you are going to be able to recognize that and execute that and have the confidence in a trade like that. It's fine. It's going to give you another opportunity. That's the nature of these levels when you open up right on top of it. You're going to have multiple opportunities to get involved with it. So don't worry about it. Now, I took that trade, I locked in, and then I waited for the next entry, which we'll go over. Now, I would say it was like a 50-50 in the room. 50% of members executed it, 50% missed it. That's fine. And I even said, don't worry about it. If you missed it, there will be another execution here right away, but we're looking for the exact same entry. Okay. So clean this up. So executed, paid myself on that trade. Now we're waiting for this. When it comes up, slices back, pops up, there's another level and another opportunity. You have an opportunity to essentially go short into that and ride down. Now, let's continue on. With this here, it comes into this level, right? So that was around 950 or so. So it's fine to average into that. It's fine. It's coming up. It's bumping its head. It gave a mature retracement. This is what we're looking for. The problem was SPY. Q's was, I would say, about 2 to 3 times stronger than SPY. These two charts will work in unison. Okay. So when SPY came up, and instead of pulling up the chart and having to reset this, I'm just going to show you exactly what happened. When SPY came up, it actually pulled all the way back. The problem is it did not break on SPY. It did not break those lows. There's a range there that it didn't break. Q's is waiting for SPY to break. So what Q's did instead was consolidate here. It didn't pull back. So, okay, you don't pay yourself, but what can you do instead? Well, this trade is still in session. Let's say you're risking off of these highs. On this trade, when it came up, there was no confirmation. Now, we had a few members that freaked out here and stopped out literally right at these highs. Okay. The issue with that is they are responding to emotion. If you look from your entry at 572.11 to where this range is 572.83, okay, that's only 70 cents away, and up to these highs, you're looking at about $1.15, $1.20. That's it. And they tapped out. Now, not only just that, some of you may be saying, well, it's getting into that. But what you're missing is if you take it, you have to take it into ranges that high. If you draw that level straight across, there is no confirmation on these candles. when you get a candle like this, those candles, and I've talked about this a lot on this channel, those are designed to stop you out. They're just trying to stop you out to basically scoop up your shares or contracts. That's all they're doing. And it's easy to do that with a retail trader. Retail traders are easy marks because they're trading with their capital, and they basically run on emotion. They know this. Institutions, they know this. The smart money knows this. It's easy for them to do, right? All they have to do is ticket that little bit higher, scoop up all that size, and then they ride it down. And that's what happened here. People did not allow this to fully work. Now, I'm going to show you, because some of you might be wondering, well, what happened if it kept squeezing? Okay, so you're right. You're not wrong for asking that, but it didn't keep squeezing. On this specific trade, and this is where people lose their focus, because they start thinking with fear and they start talking about what ifs. What if it did this? What if it did that? Now, I'll show you how I would stop out in a position like this if it kept going, okay? So here are the subtleties of the price action in which I would stop out. So this candle here, it opens and it pushes to here. Now, it pulled back, okay? So today it pulled back. Let's say it didn't. Let's say it closed right at highs. What you have to remember in that moment, because it popped so fast, that damage is done, right? So if the damage is already done, you've already endured that damage. It's not damaging you anymore, okay? Like, you've withstood that. You're there. Hold tight, because you have to give it to the next candle. If this next candle opens and pushes up in any capacity, I'll get out, because it's going to go to here and I'll just reset. There's no point in having more and more red P&L. Just take it off, okay? But what generally happens in these situations, and I've seen it so many times, when it opens, it will not pop up. It sells off. And again, no confirmation. One of the issues with confirmation that traders do need to be aware of is it can actually move higher, but without confirming. It's rare, and that's hard to explain. And if you want, you can leave a comment below asking for that specific lesson. I'll do a full-blown video lesson on YouTube, on a main video on YouTube, not live, but a main video. If you want, but you got to tell me. So on that, that's a whole fucking ball game and a whole lesson in itself. Okay. So we won't talk about that here today. But if that candle opens and it ticks higher, it's time to get out. Just get out. There's no point in fighting it. Okay. It's going to squeeze. It's squeezing. It's strong now, right? But if it doesn't and it sells off, it's going to come to here, right? Into that support. Watch it, because it can hold that support and then lift up. Next stop, if that gets back below this, game on. You're good to go. And this gave so many opportunities. Oops, sorry guys. And could have easily continued trading this. But beautiful, beautiful, beautiful charts, beautiful trades. All I did in this situation is ride it all the way up or down in this case. Now, the way I do things, I don't go after P&L. I don't go after making money. What I do is I focus on the process. People talk about this shit all the time, but I see their trading and they don't respect the process at all. They're still about money. I don't give a fuck about how much money I make in a trade. It's irrelevant. Did I trade it well? Because profit is the byproduct of process being done correctly. So if you just do things right, that money comes in automatically and you no longer have to fight it. If people fucking understood that, and not only understood that, but actually implemented that into their daily life and their trading, like, if you allow shit to come to the palm of your hand, man, oh man, oh man, this stuff becomes so fucking easy. Like through the years, people have always given me shit for saying that this is easy. Now, it is if you do it right. Where people have a hard time is they struggle because they make it hard on themselves, because they make it all about money. Because hey guys, listen, I get it. I was there too, where I was financially fucking struggling. I had no money. Like I borrowed my last dollar I could borrow. And when I say I scrounged every last nickel and dime from couch cushions and fucking underneath truck seats, that's real, man. This close to losing it all. Had I quit, had I given in, I wouldn't be living the life I am now. And I wouldn't trade this shit for the fucking world. And that's what's waiting for you. So if you want to come learn how to do this professionally and work with a coach that can actually get you there and has a knack for teaching, come to tricktrades.com. If not, that's cool. Continue enjoying the free stuff. It's just going to take you a whole hell of a lot longer. So there's a question here. Okay, perfect. No, yeah, you betcha, Christian. We'll get that up. But okay, folks, I'm gonna wrap this up. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for listening, and I hope you guys learned something. And we will see you tomorrow. Adios. Later, guys.